What's up? Hey, Anne. Did you get through the
Hola.
rest for the reunion?
Yes, I've watched most of it. It looks really good. I'm excited for the reunion, actually.
It looks really, really good. I don't know if you guys want to watch the trailer for the reunion real quick. It's amazing. This
So
season,
good.
it got cut really short. I can't believe it was only 13 episodes, and now we're at the reunion
I
already.
know. How disappointing.
Orange
How
County needed
frankly.
to be like 13 episodes. That I could understand because that was just terrible to get through. But Jersey really delivered. It was like the best season in quite a while.
Yeah.
It was really good. So let's say hi to everybody. Here I am. Hello, Velvet Pixie. Hello, Teresa, Patty Sasser, Cosmic Crazy. Sweets and Beyond better be here. She's gonna be pissed if she misses Jersey. Payne. Hello, and Sabrina. Teresa, Barbie, Elizabeth R, Kelly all day. Jay Freak. Diamond. Oh, Diamond Girl.
Yay,
There.
Sweets and Beyond.
Is she here?
Yes.
Okay. I was worried. I don't know if I should send her a message.
Hi, Sherry.
Sarah Z. Virgie. Hello. Ruth Ann Dreamsicle. Oh, hibbity bibbity. UK Kate's here.
Hibbity bibbity.
Well, you could just listen to our recap of it. It's better than watching it. No, it was actually pretty good. You probably watch it first. But Franca, hello. Hello, Addie. Amy Austin. Ellie. Sheila. Their Sweets. Andrea. Sherry. Perfectly Imperfect. Flower Child. Amanda. Silva. Stephanie W. Haint. Griffin. Ellie. Hello. Goodness. Really filing in now. Okay. All right. We're good. Holistic. Maria. Are you guys going live tonight, by the way? And
No. Usually a Saturday.
okay. All right. So just some housekeeping. So on the Instagram side of things, they just started I guess like a subscription thing there too, which I just signed up for.
Oh.
Yeah, listen, I put my time into Instagram. So finally after 10 years, they finally did something. So
Good.
my rate's $4.99 a month, and so for what I can understand so far, because I've been fiddling around with it all day, what you'll have access to is like stories that nobody else can see, lives that nobody else can see, and then you could send me direct messages on a subscription way that bypasses all the other messages that I probably won't read. No, I'm just kidding. I'll read those, maybe. We'll see. I've been trying to catch up to my messages.
Yes, that message.
And it was I replied to somebody, and they were like, "Yo, I sent that to you like 86 weeks ago." I'm like, "Oh yeah, okay. Sorry for the late reply on that one." But so I'm finally caught up. So yeah, and then you'll have like a little crown next to your name. So in the comment section, your name will pop. So if you want, that's on Instagram. And if you want to be a member here, you just have to hit the join button next to the subscribe button. And if you have an iPhone, do it from Safari. Okay. Yes. With that all being said, let's get into Jersey and the finale. Okay. Here we go.
It's serious business when you've got a penny.
Yes, he's fabulous, and he's on the inside scoop.
Ooh, look at that.
I'm dancing away.
Sorry, because my little intro cut you off mid-sentence, so that was my bad on that one. You were
That's all right.
Your sentence out. And Sweets, when this is over, send me a message on IG, and I'll put you in my story. That should help.
Cool.
And everybody follow her on IG, and she has a giant YouTube channel with 270,000 subs. So that's go put yourself in there, promote yourself, sweets. Come on, chop chop.
Mhm.
All right, back to So Jersey. Where do we start?
Is it just this episode? Just the finale?
I think we could do like the kind of like the end of the prior episode, because really the juice of that episode, the bread and butter was like the
dinner
at the end with the non-apology. So we could start there. Kelly, I have the one that has the memberships now is the 327 TV one, like the one with the 108,000 followers. The official account is mine also, but that's not the one that has the membership. So
thank you, Barbie.
All right, so let's go back to that dinner party where, to recap, this is the first time that Teresa and Margaret are going to be like in the same vicinity after Teresa threw, everything in the kitchen sink at Margaret at the restaurant the episode prior. So now they're all at, who was it, Dolores, who had the dinner?
Yes.
It was Dolores's backyard, it was their giant backyard, but Dolores threw it. And Teresa comes in with Louis. Oh my God, Louis at the end of tonight's episode with the bedazzled. I can't. Can we just jump to the bedazzled jacket? Because I've been like waiting to talk about him and that bedazzled jacket this whole time. I can't.
That's why he's constantly embarrassed with the red lip, John.
Like, do you think that Teresa dresses him? I do. I think that Teresa.
I think so. They were coordinated. He was matching her hat and stuff with that jacket. So she's trying to do the whole Kim and Kanye thing, and it's.
And I could just see her, here, baby, here you go, Louie. I set your outfit on the bed, all right, sweetheart. You're gonna look really good in it, honey.
My love bubble.
Right, where you're gonna look so. This is what all the hot guys are wearing these days, Louie. Okay, this is it, and and then it's like that, and it's bedazzled down the whole back of that jacket, and then he wants to huff and puff while he's got that bedazzled jacket on, and I'm like, oh, come on, man.
And know your audience, like the group of guys he's with, they're men, and like Frank, Joe Gorga, Joe Benigno, like it's just even Evan. It's not even Bill. It's not their thing. And here he comes in, and he's trying to dress like a younger guy. He's trying to dress like a younger man.
Elizabeth and Elizabeth loves your shirt. Yeah, he's like, it's like me trying to go to Abercrombie now and like get like a pair of like, almost destroyed jeans and like trying to pull that off. Like, like I used to buy those jeans that were like, $200 and there was, it was like 80% ripped, and now I'm like, I see those, people 25 now and I'm like, oh my God, look at this idiot. And I'm like, but I used to wear it. And it's like Louis still trying to like pull that off. Like, no. Yeah. I'm waiting for him to pull up with the Cavaricis, like in a DeLorean. Like there's something so.
I mean, did he wake up in the morning and pull on Melania's jeans? Like, come on.
There's just something so manufactured about him. There's just nothing about him is genuine at all to me. And that Teresa's trusting him. Oh, Louis, I just got back from Saks Fifth Avenue. I got you this. This is for the Kevin Federline edition. All right, sweetheart. Yes, this is great.
That's funny. So at that dinner, she apologized to the group.
Right.
And she even that for me was passive aggressive, because she made a point of not apologizing to the one person who deserved an apology.
Right.
So, and for Joe to say that was a lovely apology, Joe Gorga, where is your balls?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of felt bad for Margaret because, Teresa's like, guys, you know what? I just got to say something. I'm sorry about the ways I acted last night, but I was provoked and I'm in my love bubble and I can't have this, and it was there was that one, and I can't, so I'm sorry. And then Margaret, because Margaret is Margaret, and we all love her. She's like, this is an apology. What do you call it? What is this? What. And there went round two of Margaret versus Teresa, and then you have poor Melissa in the middle. Melissa, Teresa to Melissa. Melissa, you better tell her to be quiet. You better tell her to shut up.
Get your friend.
Then you got Teresa fat shaming Margaret, calling her the trout mouth, the this, the that, and she never misses a meal or whatever she said about, and then everybody's silent. So the next day, Margaret's like, so hey girls, just between us, how come nobody said anything when Teresa fat shamed me last night? And they were like, oh yeah, that was very wrong. Jennifer's like, yeah, she shouldn't have said it. I don't agree. And then Margaret's like, but why did nobody say anything? And Mark had to agree with Margaret on that one.
But even Jackie, who is going through her whole issue with food and the mental impact of that, even her, she would have been the perfect person to say, Teresa, that's a no-no. And she should have used that moment to basically, my dog is letting off in here, it is not me.
Wait,
so
what?
She should have used that moment to really promote what she was trying to show during the whole season, like going to a psychologist and stuff. Like that was the moment that she should have taken and spoken up about. And really, she should have taken that, but she didn't.
Yeah, but I think everybody's afraid of Teresa.
Yeah.
Even Jackie, that was her perfect opportunity to get back into it. And. I don't know if Jackie just didn't want to fight Teresa again because it wasn't worth it the first time, or, because Teresa's a little cray-cray, like Louis. So.
Well, after the night before, I think they were probably thinking, this outfit's quite expensive. Like, I want to keep it this shade. I know, Hayne, I don't know. I overfed him earlier. Every time I go live.
And there was like a lot of, back and forth because, Margaret, was she a little pushy with the questioning? Yeah, I mean.
But she wasn't malicious.
Right. She was, and Margaret, like, is against her, like everybody else says. Like, she wants to get, and, get in the middle of it, and she knows everybody, and, that's Margaret. She doesn't hide it. But, Teresa just kept going and going and going. So, crickets from the cast members when Margaret said, how come nobody said anything? And then, they said, well, what Dolores say? We're not our parents. So
we're not our parents, she said. And I get that too. Like, I understand what Dolores is saying. They're not responsible for teaching a grown woman what's right and what's wrong. So I do understand what she's saying, but there's a time you've got to stand up for your friend. And if Margaret's their friend, they've got to stand up and say what's right and say to Teresa, no, like you can't do it. So they didn't.
And it's amazing because all season long, it's been very clear. It's been pretty much Dolores and Margaret and Jackie and Melissa versus Teresa and Jennifer. But they, you would think that Margaret had the numbers, but still, even now, they won't say anything. It goes to show you how much everybody is just terrified of Teresa.
Are they terrified of Teresa, or are they terrified of Andy Cohen?
Well, Andy has his favorites, and we all know that Teresa is his favorite. Just like we know he loves Bethany. And well, I don't think he loves Nene much at the moment. Oh, speaking of Nene, did you hear? Well, not about Nene, but did you hear that the Atlanta tagline just came out?
No.
Do you want to hear them?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, let's play them. I like them, And just, shout out to Marlo for finally getting her peach.
Yay! If anyone deserves a peach, it is Marlo.
Right? I mean, she really, was it like
I love Marlo.
5-6 seasons as being a friend, and she just kept
I
going.
love Marlo.
Let me go to Marlo's story.
But I've got to say, my favourite part of that morning was Teresa saying to Joe Gorga on the phone, or she was saying to her confessional, when I make an apology, it comes from the heart. And I thought there was nothing more disingenuous than that apology, and what she said afterwards. It was bullshit. But that made me laugh.
But it was true. What did Margaret call it? She called it, because everyone's like, oh, yeah, Teresa, what a good job you did. Yeah, yeah. And they were serious about it, too.
Yeah.
What did I wrote it down. Can't find the correct wording. Oh, the participation trophy. That's it. Here you go. You got your participation trophy.
I love Margaret.
It's just. Oh, let me go.
She's delusional. Thank you, Colby.
Let me see here.
Yeah, Frank did. But what made me laugh then, Jackie then said in that kitchen, no, I'm not friends. No, that wasn't a genuine apology. And frankly, I think she's dangerous.
Yeah, Jackie flipped hard because it was, she was kind of sticking up for Teresa at points, and then she, out of nowhere, she really flipped on Teresa like that. That surprised me too. I wrote that down. I'm like, huh? Because that really did come out of nowhere.
Yeah, I wrote that down too. I was like, what?
Okay, now the thing doesn't want to play. Why won't you play?
I ain't never skipped a beat or a bag.
Candy.
I keep you on the edges of your seat.
Drew.
I always had the juice, but now
my peach. That was Marlo, and now it's not playing. So we'll play the rest later. It's in my story if you want to hear the rest of it.
Okay, that's good.
So,
but can I say, John, during that same conversation, because I thought I need to write this down, Frank's massage parlor.
Oh.
When Dolores said about Frank, yeah, we need the massage parlor, and the rest were like, huh? And she said, you didn't think I'd find out? And they said, what kind was it? He said, a good one.
The good kind. Yeah, the good kind.
I love Frank.
And I could totally see him running a series of parlors like that. And the funny thing is that he was an attorney too. A lot of people don't know that. Frank was
he was disbarred, wasn't he?
Yeah. But he's still a good guy.
I love Frank.
We look past that.
Yeah. Minor mistake.
Yeah, see,
a miscellaneous incident.
Sweets and Beyond says, so Jersey will start filming in June. Teresa won't get a wedding special. Oh, trust me, I'm sure that they are filming that wedding.
Well, there's some other outlets or bloggers saying that Teresa has lost her spot, that production are not happy with her and her behaviour because it was assault and they're not happy, or I don't know.
Well, I can see, Teresa's, her big, how she treated production this year too. She's like, I'm Teresa, I'm going to do what I want. But still, he's one of Andy's favorites. Mm-hmm. And I would probably think that, either they're going to fire her or they're probably filming her wedding. She's probably get a 3 episode,
special.
It's a special,
Portia
or one of those.
Candy's boring wedding.
But I couldn't imagine, them not filming Teresa's wedding. Teresa's one of the biggest housewives there are. That would be such a missed opportunity, even if they can't stand Teresa, just to get that, footage. And
but don't you feel that Louis, other husbands are like, right, trying to calm it down and stuff? I feel that he's gassing her up. I feel that he's...
Yeah, he knows what he's doing, because he knows how to push those buttons. That's why he had to go to them camps,
Mm-hmm.
He's skilled at it. And at the end, like, when he had his bedazzled jacket and he's storming around and like, let's go, let's wrap it up. I've had enough of this. Who are you?
I need to get my lips done.
Let's go back to our 50,000 square foot house. Like, if I was Jennifer, I'd be like, bitch, I have 18 bathrooms, huh? You want to, I mean.
But do you know, John, I think that we've
only
seen a tiny snippet of that conversation. I think there's been a lot more because those guys were all like, what the fuck? They were all reacting and it wasn't really matching what we were saying. So I think he said a lot more than, and it's been editing, of course. We've not seen it all.
Hank just said he is Mr. Tree. That's it.
Yes.
It's like Trey and Mr. Trey. That's it. And then he get that like bedazzled, and I could just see him, like he's like a little boy too. Like, he wakes up and then like, his clothes are laid out by Teresa. He goes, he watches his cartoons in the morning. He eats his breakfast. He goes to like the school nurse, gets his like, filler. And then comes home and kisses her ass. Like, it's such a weird, he's so weird.
It's like he would have been one of the Jersey Shore boys, like Jim Tan Laundry, the GTL.
I'm sure he like probably tried out for it. Like, because you could totally see him like being like Pauly D, like, with that whole demeanor. And like, even like, the way he dresses, like if I saw him like out at like a fancy restaurant or a club in that getup, I would like laugh right in his face. I mean, with the bedazzled jacket and then like the t-shirt underneath, it's very like queer as gay eye for the straight eye, like very like 2003, like the Carson just pick that out for you, like where's your driving muck? Like I can't. Everything about him, I find there's something just weird, and
it was almost as if he got to that point, and it was, I don't need to do this. She doesn't have to work another day. I've been putting on this front for everyone, and I'm done with it. And that's really to me what he was saying. But it was so conceited, so egotistical, and the way he was marching around, and the men were all sitting looking at him. There's a few things I would think about Louis, but no, that was interesting. That definitely was interesting.
It's like he's like an alien, like in a in a host's body. Like it's like he doesn't know how to act. Like he thinks he's acting cool, and he's like not. Like Joe will say, "Let's get a round of drinks," and like Louis would be like, "Hell yeah, bro!" Like very over the top.
I know.
Like, you know what I'm talking
so
about?
Awkward.
Like like it's like it's so weird. Like just how over the top his like expressions are. Like
and the guys had just said to him when they were out in the boat, when the women are kicking off, don't get involved. You step back, let them get on with it. Do not get involved. And he's like, yeah. But he didn't heed that. He really didn't heed that. And the clincher for me was when he said, his actual words was, I don't know, Margaret is starving to sit in your seat.
Everybody knows that Teresa is the queen, like and I knowing Margaret, knowing Margaret, she wouldn't even be that adventurous to assume that she could just like take Teresa out and be the Queen of Jersey. I don't think anybody wants to be the Queen of Jersey, because it just sucks being like the figurehead. Because when that person leaves, like look how much this New York sucks without Bethany, or look at poor OC without Vicky or Tamra. I don't know. I don't think Margaret would ever want that. And then
I think Jen would.
Oh, Jen would love to have that, but that would never happen.
I think Jen would.
Because she's just like, a follower. Jen, she's not a leader. What was I saying? Shit. Right before that, I was on right before. What was I saying? Damn it.
Right, hang on. Where were we?
I was in the zone too.
So Melissa had said Margaret comes off as angry instead of concerned. And I do think Melissa was right. But I think it was because Margaret was starting to defend herself so much about her intentions that it was starting to sound angry. So I think it was sort of lost in translation what had been back then when she was initially expressing her concerns to Teresa's face, because the rest were just bitching behind her back.
Well, Teresa had told, and then when she was talking to Margaret at the end, right? And I kind of felt bad for Teresa at points, because I know that Teresa's not completely like heartless. Because, when she started crying, she could just understand, and I love him. I'm trying to protect him. And then I felt like that was genuine of Teresa. And you could see Margaret, I thought she believed it too. And but then, Teresa didn't want to take any accountability. And then, what Margaret had to go down the list of all the things that she did. What was it? You called me trout mouth. You wanted me to do you gave me a hard time with the workout stuff. You fat shamed me. You said I never miss a meal. Then you called me white trash. Then you
Called me a CUNT.
yeah. Then you threw the whole table at me. And then she walks away. And going back to what we were saying, then Louis, Louis goes, what does he say to Margaret? Like, thank you.
When he went, thank you, have a good night or something, he said.
And Margaret looked back at him and like, I don't know, like she was going to rip his throat out.
Yeah, I wish, because I think he would have mouthed off. I think if she'd have said anything, I think he would have mouthed off. And I think people would have seen him for who he was. Because his behaviour sort of says, the stories you hear about him, there's probably truth in it. About all these exes but he just, Teresa should be careful with that one.
What about all right, I know we're kind of jumping all over the place with this one, but what about, again, him being robotic and like, this is what a human should do. When he pulled Joe Gorga and asked for Teresa, Joe Gorga's blessing. Like, and I there was a way that it could have been forthcoming, I guess, if you really wanted to be traditional. And listen, I come from a very Italian family, so I get it. But again, it was over the top, and I just wanted to talk to you, and you've been my brother, man. And when everybody was down,
I need her, he said.
Like, yeah, and I'm going to take her to Europe or wherever we said, and I'm going to ask her to marry me, and I need to know, out of respect for your dad, if it's okay. Like, it just, ew. All of it, yuck.
Well, I think if it was genuine, it wouldn't have been on camera. I think that was Louis angling for the TV wedding. I think Louis knew exactly what he was doing. I think he's manipulative. And Joe seemed really genuine at the end. He's sitting listening, and I want my sister to be happy. And I've made mistakes before. And Joe, to me, was really honest with him. But this guy, I think he knows what to say. He says the right thing at the time.
But I think he also thinks he says the right thing. Like, I think he knows that he's like, I don't know. I hate, not a scammer, but some scammer adjacent, like a smooth talker. You know what I mean?
A charmer.
Yeah, a charmer. And the way he was goading Teresa, I imagine if like Louis mouthed off like that to Dolores or Melissa, the way he mouthed off to Margaret when she was walking away. You think it would have been, if it was Melissa or Dolores, if there would have been a war right there.
Yeah, there would have been. The men would have. They would have been.
So they're just, and as much as Teresa wants to say, oh, it's not his fault, it's my fault, I'm the public figure. Well, you knew that you're going to be on the show.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Kirsty. You knew you're going to be on the show. You knew you're going to be filming with him. I mean,
Yeah.
You knew he was going to be
And
a public
he made
figure.
a comment to Teresa, that's it, love. Enough. You've been begging she's been begging for an apology or something. He made a comment at that point that I think I don't know if I actually wrote that down.
I almost feel like Teresa's like getting it, like, doing it just because she wants to get married on the show and have her giant housewives wedding, because she probably never thought it was going to happen. Because because Margaret made a good point. She was just blindly defending him just to protect him, which, yeah, but at the same, I don't know, the way she blindly protects him too is weird, and she doesn't want anybody calling them out. I don't know. It's just, all of it is just suspect to me. I
don't think it will go down well when Teresa sees Dolores saying she's like a wounded dog begging to be petted, and the first person that's been petting her, like she's went to, I don't think Teresa will be happy with that analogy at all.
Oh, so. No. I mean, like, and I think that Teresa could do way better than him. I mean, on every level, inside, outside, like, because
I think in Teresa's head, he's a step up from Joe Giudice and the way he treated her. So that's an improvement. I don't think she's looking at the bigger picture. And it takes years to get to really know someone, living with them. They've barely moved in together at this point. So I think she will find out the hard way. I think he's a bit of an angry man.
And Teresa is so stubborn that she'll be miserable with him and just stay with him for years, then look stupid and leave him right away.
Just so Margaret isn't right, Teresa will stay there.
Yep. Margaret can't know. Margaret can't know about this. No, we're staying married forever. And oh my god, what was his name? Teresa's friend that cleaned the pool. He was a hottie.
John. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he probably stuck it in, I'm thinking, while Joe was, away. Because
definitely.
I would have kicked him out of bed.
No, I would have hung on to him. He would have been cleaning my pool a lot.
Listen, I would have dirtied up myself. I would have had to go take a shit in my own pool. Oh my god, a bear just took a shit in the pool again.
Those damn neighbors.
Right, those damn kids have to come over here and clean it out again.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he was easy on the eyes.
He was a hottie. And he was a normal guy. I think with Louis, he's too manufactured.
Right, exactly. Everything about it's like, she saw him in Saks. Here's your boyfriend, like, and she's, oh, I like this model, and she just pulled him out, and hi, I'm Louis, and he's like a robot. It's like, I wonder if he's like alive. Maybe he's like a cyborg. I'm just throwing that out there because.
With no personality.
He is manufactured is the best way to describe him. It's the best absolute word on every way, because that's what he is.
And I think I don't see the personality. I don't see anything. I'm not getting it. I'm just not getting it. Like the other guys, even Joe Benigno at first, it took me a bit of time to really get to know him, and I love him. I love Joe. But it took a bit of time. But with Louis, it's been a whole season, and I don't think we know any more about him than we did in the first episode.
Well, we don't, because if you, God forbid you ask, whether it's a housewife or spouse of housewife, you get the wrath of Teresa. I mean, like what Tiki asked, Louis the question about the was it the abuse or whatever allegations are out, and look what Teresa did to Tracy. Poor Tracy got
Tracy, who hasn't spoke since episode 6.
And I, when
Still
this
spoke.
season first started, I was thinking, and I was wrong, that Tracy was going to really try and jump on
Shake
Teresa's
up.
back. Because I'm like, wait for it. It's going to happen. Because it looked like that's how it was lining up. Because in the beginning, Tracy was sticking up for Teresa more than Melissa. And I'm like, uh-oh. Wait, she's going to leapfrog off Melissa. Maybe it's because Tiki ruined it. So,
Yeah.
By asking.
They won't be back. They won't be back.
So then Tracy had to stay with Melissa, because then she'd have nobody. I don't know. Tracy was kind of interesting this season. She was,
I think Jersey definitely needs a shake-up. And I love Dolores, love Margaret. Even Melissa. Melissa's lovely, but does she bring enough drama, enough of a storyline? It's like our storylines were bullshit. The pregnancy, the sister, it was bullshit. But this is when you miss Daniel Staub, because
I was just thinking. I was thinking Caroline in the back of my head.
I love Caroline. Caroline, I loved her. The whole family, bring back the whole Manzos.
Yeah, like with Danielle ruined it for me, because she was like, Teresa's,
Lapdog.
Muscle, and if Danielle ever came back, she would probably just be that same annoying person. So I couldn't stomach
that whole build up to her wedding when they were getting dressed, and I mean, she was a nightmare, and the fighting about his kids, and that was crazy. But it was good viewing. It was good viewing.
Yeah, I don't know if you're right about Melissa. That would be a big move, because I would think that if you're going to get rid of one of them, you'd have to get rid of both probably, and I
think you would see a different Teresa, because.
But I can't see that happening. To get rid of both of them, that would be a giant move.
But I think it would be good. I think it would be a good move. Keep Jen. Keep Margaret. I would probably get rid of Jen.
Yeah, but we said that too about, look, and I was one of them saying, I'm kind of tired of Vicky and Tamara. And look, they've been gone, and look how awful the show is. Whether you love or hate Vicky and Tamara.
I know it's not a popular choice, but I've always liked Tamara, because Tamara brings drama.
Yeah.
Tamara will ask the questions that nobody wants to ask, and I like her. I do like her. I think I like Tamara. Vicky is hilarious. She's funny in the Ramona way.
Yeah.
You can rely on her to say the wrong thing.
Vicky is what Ramona tries to accomplish and fails at, and then she just winds up being Ramona.
I love Ramona. I think she's hilarious.
Yeah, for me, maybe drop Dolores down to a friend and Jackie, and I love both Dolores and Jackie, but it's kind of like there's not much to them. The problem is the dynamic with the husbands, because the husbands get along so well together.
This is it. So I don't know.
That's the problem.
I would like to see some of the people who even maybe featured years ago pop up. Kim D.
Oh yeah, Kim D. Or what's Teresa's cousin, Rosie. I wouldn't mind Rosie.
I loved Rosie. Not so much Kathy. And Richie was a bit of a weirdo, but I loved Rosie.
Yeah, Kathy, I can't believe Kathy lasted as long as she did. She was there. She never really brought anything.
She's done.
Rosie, I wouldn't mind. I mean, Jacqueline doesn't even live over here anymore, so she couldn't do it. But definitely Caroline.
I'd love Caroline.
There's ways. I don't know. I don't think the show, if they got rid of Teresa and Melissa, that would be.
I think if they brought Caroline back, I think that would only be interesting if Teresa stayed.
Yeah, because that dynamic would make it interesting. It
would be watchable. We'd all be like, right, what's going to happen?
And Caroline was the only one that ever kept Teresa in check.
And I think Caroline, because they sort of fell away from Melissa too at one point. I don't think they were very happy with Melissa before they left. I think there was a bit of a split there too, because they had supported her.
Well, I mean, if you really want to make it interesting, bring Dina back with her.
I love Dina.
But I think Dina's in. Are they in California or Vegas? I know they've been spending a lot of Dina and Teresa have been spending a lot of time together lately. But I don't think Dina moved back to the East Coast. I think she's still in California or that side. But that would be interesting. All right, so we didn't even talk about their little bike pedaling thing, which was kind of funny. Nothing really happened.
I liked that Margaret didn't have to pedal.
She took the seat.
Loved it.
It reminded me, they used to have those in Fort Lauderdale all the time on Los Olas Boulevard, and I always wanted to try it. But looking at that, no, I would have to take Margaret's seat on that one.
And Melissa was so drunk when they got off, she fell.
Oh yeah, and then she took Jennifer down with her.
And Jennifer was fine about it. She was like, no bother.
Yeah, Jennifer was like, not so bad this episode. But she kept saying to Margaret, you got to take accountability, which, was Jennifer wrong? No, but Jennifer, she was still trying really hard to be on Teresa's side, yet still trying to let Margaret know, no, I didn't agree with the shaming and all that.
Yeah. She was an unexpected voice of reason.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So she was, her suck went up a little bit this season. She wasn't as unbearable as she usually is. So, high five to you.
It's because, John, she wasn't mad with it at every party. She was sticking to water. She must have made that agreement with Bill before the season started, and it was water only. And I think you really got to see who Jennifer was this season. I liked her.
Yeah, I think, Margaret did her a favor by saying that out, because it made Jennifer like human, and because she was always so robotic. And well, speaking of Jennifer, let's talk about the ridiculous the wing eating contest. And then, again, Joe Gorga to Louis. Hey, Louis, do you want to get in on this wing contest? And Louis is like, oh yeah, man, chicken's the best. Yeah, go, yeah, over. Like, Louis takes one bite and he's out. Like, you big phony. Like, he couldn't even finish one wing. Come on, one bite and he was out. You big phony.
I know that was funny.
And I really thought Bill was going to win it because, Jennifer is always like, he eats the hottest thing. There's something on earth that he can't eat that, and for Bill, because Jennifer, being the show off that she is and has to be the best and number one, even when Bill's ordering a chicken sandwich, Jennifer's like to the waitress, yeah, and make sure it's the hottest temperature there is, because that's my husband. He eats everything hot. You can, and like he probably is like, oh, I just wanted to have like
she was like
just like a chicken sandwich without like having to like like burst fire when because God Almighty, because those hot wings, like they go down hot and they come out hot again, because they give you a little burn-in.
Yeah.
And it's never good to burn, I'm guessing. But
I think that Jen was trying to give off the impression Turks don't eat spicy hot food. That's not their sort of diet. That's not what they cook. I've got Turkish family. That's not really what they cook. So I think people would have thought, oh, Bill's Turkish, but that's not really true. But he was standing, trying to act cool as anything. The camera panned around and his eyes were bloodshot.
Yeah, he was sweating bullets.
And that was hilarious to me. Like, Joe's like,
yeah, win, come on, get him, shut up, yeah, and then
he was standing there trying to act so cool, and his eyes were bloodshot. He was like a cartoon.
And she was
It's
like
funny.
going to Joe Gorga, and she's like, "Look at you! You can't keep up with my man." And I'm like, "Oh my god!" So, and obviously Joe Gorga is not going to lose. He probably would have had 100 of them because he's not going to lose to anybody. Because that's Joe. Because he's got the short man complex. That's
Yes.
okay. Eat your wings, Joe. All 4'7" of you, and I mean, like, why do you think he works out? Because gotta make up for things in other departments. But Bill sweating the way he was, and like it looked like he was about to his eyeballs were about to singe out of his head. It was like he needed a walker, and Jennifer's like, "No, open your mouth. I'm gonna pour the hot sauce right down it." It's like,
she's like, I never forgave those 10 years.
yeah, I wipe my ass with it. This hot sauce. This is nothing. I douche with it. This is the best. Jennifer needed her win, so good for you, girl. What else? What else did we not cover? I know because we were kind of all over the place. I just wanted to make sure we covered like at least the funny things. Like there I go, Melissa drunk. Jennifer, nobody could beat Bill. And Teresa wanted to have her moment with Margaret.
Yes.
Which I want to talk to Teresa now. I want to talk to Margaret now. I want to talk to her now. Everybody was trying to talk her out of it. Teresa just, had to be her way. And I can't believe Teresa actually listened and actually said, all right, we'll talk later. That was like my other moment with her. I'm like, wow, did Teresa actually listen? And, so that was that moment.
Because again, they were like, can we not have one dinner?
Right.
One meal?
And like they were at like another like wing place. And they didn't want another repeat of
the song.
Oh my god, the hit song. So
Melissa made me cringe there when she was starting to like I was like, what the fuck? And of course she picked it.
I can't stop laughing. Go ahead, sorry, go.
When they went to the recording studio, and but I thought the words, it was quite fun. But Melissa tries to on display.
Well, she was like biting at the chomp once I got there because and who was the one? Was it Margaret that said, "Oh, Melissa here is a recording artist"? And Melissa's like, "Oh, stop! That was many moons ago. I'm just one of the regular girls.
Joe got that.
I'm just no singing for me. Just one of the just like everybody else here. And then they go in, and Melissa's like, she got the cans on, thinking like she's like warming up, like she's Mariah Carey, about to belt out like all I want for Christmas is you. She's like, and just hitting those notes and just hitting them, and everyone.
Well, I used to be a singer.
Well, she's like, oh God, wow, I'm so rusty at this. I'm like, come on, Melissa, really with all that.
Joe bought her 2 songs, so that was it. And she didn't have an album. She didn't have a career.
Did she have like 2 songs? Did she even like have it wasn't even like a record, right? It was just like a single. It was like on display.
Remember. And I love it when they flash back to that clip of her on stage because she's got a completely different face. And I love that. And I just love remembering how they looked. Same with Teresa, how they looked back then.
Well, I remember when she was at Beatstock, I think, and they were at that episode, and she was like lip syncing on display, and she's like, "Oh my God, this was." I'm like, "Was it?" It was in Long Island. It was on my Long Islanders in the chat. You know what I'm talking about? It's like a Bald Hill over the summer, and they play the freestyle stuff. KTU runs it. Is it Beatstock? I think it's Beatstock. Anyway, she was playing there. And she's like, I made it. And I'm like, girl, you were playing in a giant parking lot in like Coram, Long Island. This is not, you'd be better off working the Meadowlands.
Well, I bet she was pig sick when it was Gia I wake up in the morning thinking so many things. That went viral on TikTok.
I mean, Gia was more successful than On Display. I wake up in the morning, think about so many things. I wish things would
get better. Oh, that was horrific. That I'll never. And then Melania had a song. What was Melania's song?
Oh, it was about candy, wasn't it, or something like that, or homework? And she was in like the studio, and like they had that dance, the dance video, and what was the name of their little band?
Well, no, that was Gia. Gia was in the little group, but Melania had a song, and when it was when they do the listening party, Teresa had a listening party, and she's like, "Isn't she great?" And it was shit.
It was really bad. I remember Melania like in the studio, and Teresa's like, "Oh my God, guys, she's so great. She's like the next Britney Spears.
So talented."
Oh my God.
And poor Adriana and Gabriella. Gabriella never really gets mentioned. She just appears. She's like the ghost child in the family.
Yeah.
She just appears.
So quiet.
Oh, poor Gabby. Let's see. I wake up in the morning. Oh,
sorry.
yeah. Good luck.
I wake up in the morning.
No, Melania had a song. It was I want to say it was like season like 9 or 10. It was like Margaret's first or second season on the show. Because I remember
Melania was my favourite child because see the way she messed with production, and she was but she was funny. She had a bit of personality. I loved Melania.
A friend of mine at the time actually went to Teresa's house that episode when they had like Melania's. It was like her viewing party for her song or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So it had to have been season 9 or 10, I want to say. Like 2016, 2017. I wake up in the morning, think about so many things. Got homework on my mind. Wish to read that book again. Things would get better. You're muted, Anne.
How bad is it though when you are in a family dispute that your child who is like that size is writing a song about wanting your mum's brother to speak to her? Like, talk about being manipulated. That was bullshit.
Go ahead, keep going.
I just remember Caroline Manzo's face, and it was horrific. That was brilliant.
Any little girl waking up in that mansion crying about how bad her life is.
Zito Joe.
Are you kidding me? It was Christmas too, with 8 million gifts, and girl, like you don't know how good you have it. Well,
Gabriella looks like her gran Joe's mum, I think.
Who's the one that
does look like her gran? Gabriella's beautiful.
The mailman. Who's the mailman? Adriana?
Oh, I love Adriana.
Is that the mailman's baby? Which is the one that doesn't belong? The Chloe.
She's when it sneaked in.
That's Gabrielle. That's Adriana, isn't it?
No, Adriana's the youngest. Gabriella's the one that looks like no one.
Yeah, Gabrielle. Okay, Gabrielle.
Appears.
Yeah. She's like, that's why she's always in the shadows. You can't get that tight close because every one of Teresa's daughters have like the low hairline, and the big eyes, and they look all like a spitting image of Teresa. And then you have poor Gabby. I'm not even sure if she came out of Teresa. she doesn't look like anybody.
She looks more like Amanzo.
Yeah, maybe she's still one of Melissa's kids. I don't know. I don't. She doesn't look like anything. I don't know where they got Gabby from, but she's fun. I like Gabby. She's like the Khloe Kardashian of them.
Yes,
that's who she is.
Maybe they should be DNAing OJ for that one too.
Oh my God! Speaking of OJ, has anybody heard from Stephanie? Hi guys.
No, can you believe that?
Somebody, guys, can you please send help?
Can I borrow a glove?
I'm tied up and not in a good way.
Crazy. Oh, she was crazy. John, one of the funniest things was she was at the reunion and did her own recording to put out, and she had like members of her team just sitting on her
Oh my
couch.
God! When she did her own tell-all on her couch.
Oh, that
Wait,
was
hold
one
on.
of the best
Teeny,
things.
teeny,
The
tiny
best.
shots you give yourself every.
There you go.
Teeny, teeny, tiny shots you give yourself every day.
I love it. She was horrifying.
Yeah, and she really thought like she had like Connie Chung in her house, like interviewing her, and they cut to different angles, like they tried to like be like really professional, and like to their credit,
She would do that.
I mean, it was like it was not edited. It was nice quality. I'm not gonna dog it, but it was over the top, like Louis with that bedazzled, black blazer on.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and then we had to sit through like 3 hours of that. Like, it was in depth. And Stephanie's a character. I miss her.
I think we can safely say for OJ, she would have been one and done.
I hope they bring her back because she's like I think my favorite person to.
It was that meal, John, that meal when she went and she's got the cousin and she's like, and she blamed production for putting something or giving us.
Yeah, no, she'll never be back on the show. She did a big no and broke all sorts of contracts, and I think I heard, I could be wrong, that they're actually taking her to court or something.
Well, she has sued so many people. When the list came out, she had sued there was a list of companies she had sued previously. So it's her thing.
Guys, help. My shots aren't helping me either.
She was buying him all this jewellery and then it was the cousin and his wife and the kids.
Raris. Yeah, she won't be back on the show.
Over and spend the night. Oh, she was crazy. She was
a character. I mean, I have to give her. She was out there. Let's see. Hot chicken eat off. I'm looking at my notes. Melissa drunk. Bill sweating. Yeah, I think we did. Did you watch Boring OC? Did you see any of the reunion yet?
Rubbish. There was nothing. The only exciting part was when Heather said to Shannon, "You knew about David's affair."
Oh yeah, and then Shannon didn't know. Classic Shannon. Didn't know what to do, and oh my God, Shannon, Heather, I'm just, I'm just so mad that you would even bring that up. How dare you? Come on. Shannon.
Gina looked absolutely gorgeous, absolutely stunning at the reunion, but then she's sitting on the couch like that.
Yeah.
And she looks stunning. Like, where's your posture? Put your shoulders back, Gina.
The only thing I really enjoyed is that they really gave Noella a hard time. Noella's just awful. Please don't bring her back. I have a feeling they're going to bring her back because they pay her nothing, and she's desperate to be on TV.
I don't know if she was married to. Do we still know if she was even married to this guy?
Well, what, the guy that she met on the Sugar Daddy site?
Happy James
was a seeking arrangement. I mean, Emily hit what she said, how she was speculating about what she thought happened in the marriage, and I believed every single word as Emily explained it, because it made absolute 100% sense how Emily laid it out, and you saw it just bubbling in Noella. She couldn't stand Emily just giving it to her. I have not really been the biggest Emily fan in seasons past.
Neither have I.
But she made up for the show kind of sucking as much this season. And if they don't bring back, Tamra or Vicky or both next season, I don't know what's going to happen to that show, because It was bad. Or Kelly. They gotta make a move and bring somebody big back.
And I don't think Shannon is really bringing it.
No, she's awful. All she has, Shannon thinks she's like the boss because she's, I think she has the most seniority there.
Mhm.
Although I would still think Heather outranks her.
So would I.
But she, all she has is Noella. She's lost without Vicky and Tamara.
Mhm.
And she has to watch Gina and Emily be the new younger version of Vicky and Tamara, and
Yeah.
she's sitting there looking at the past and the present and the future, and she's awful. I can't believe of all the people they let Shannon stay and got rid of those two. It's crazy.
And Travis, he's done a whole 180, hasn't he? I don't remember him being this good looking when they met.
Yeah, because when he first came on, I was like, oh my god, and Matt was a
Me
hot,
too.
Matt was a good looking guy.
Mhm.
So I'm like, she went from that to that. He was a little rough on the eyes, but yeah, he's come around. He's cleaned up a little bit. So he's probably like, listen,
the same guy. He's quite handsome. Yeah, I think he's cleaned up, and I think maybe lost a bit of weight. I don't know. There's a difference. There's a significant difference. Get a haircut. Like, he just looks a whole lot better.
She's probably like, listen, bro, you gotta tighten it up a little bit. I'm on Bravo. All right. My house is already small. So I gotta bring something to the table.
And it makes me laugh it makes me laugh that they can slate Gina and Gina's home when they all rent. Like, none of them really, well, I don't know about now, but who owns I know Heather, obviously.
Well, I think Heather is like probably the only one.
Even Shannon rents. Emily must be renting because they were all talking about Gina being. So don't knock somebody who's doing well for themselves, and for me, doing the right thing. And she was happy, and she wasn't pretentious about it. That's what I did respect about Gina. I really did respect that about her.
But with Noella, and I like how Andy grilled her about the seeking arrangement. She goes, well, and I hate how Noella speaks. She's got like that back to the voice, like lockjaw, like she's like, and people think I was doing it for like the money and calling me a gold digger and this, and Andy's like, but you were in it for the money. She's like, no, I wasn't. She's like, but you met on a seeking arrangement site where it was young women and rich men. She's like, well, yeah, but I wasn't in it for how do you even like?
And she got pregnant right away.
Well,
yes,
she had to lock it down.
She had to lock it in.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I totally, I believe that just like everybody else said, had the husband said, "Listen, it's either me or the show," she would have said the show, and that's probably exactly what happened.
She's been a side piece, and he had to marry her. Well, if he did even marry her, because did anybody ever see paperwork? And it was supposed to have been done in Puerto Rico, I believe. And even at one point, that's what she was supposed to have get documents that were in Spanish, and none of it made sense. And Gina was calling it out at the time, and they were like, if she is married, it's like, is she? And I think sometimes you can get away with sometimes bringing in somebody that was new. Who was the one that was on Atlanta? The blogger they brought on?
Not Claudia. No, Claudia Jordan. No, she was on the TV.
It began with a T, I think. But she brought it. Like, she was a virtual, like, unknown. She didn't seem to have a lot real, like, money or anything, but she brought it. She brought the drama, and she was liked. She was liked.
Yeah, I mean, get rid of Noella and get rid of Dr. Jen because they're just awful.
Why?
Bring back
Why was Dr. Jen there?
I don't know. I mean, she is just bad all around. I mean, she's worse than Noella.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she's just boring
she was.
and a drunk, and her husband's annoying. And
regular Kate, sorry, that's my dog in the background.
Oh, where's regular Kate? Oh, there's regular Kate. Hey. No, Kate, that's just our live audience. We have
Yeah.
background people.
We couldn't get them to clap tonight, so they fell asleep.
Speaking of which, we're going to be doing later on. Oh my God, it's 7 o'clock already. At 10 o'clock, so 3 hours from now, we're going to be doing the Johnny Depp stuff, and we're going to be doing the Grumpy. We're going to be talking about Mr. The Grumpy's left on the bed, and everything else. So that's at 10. So come back at 10 o'clock.
Before you go off then, John, what do you think about the whole Johnny Depp Amber Heard case? What's...
Well, I think that the consensus is that, like, pretty much that he's the lesser of two evils. That no one's innocent, but she's got a little bit more ticky boom boom than he does. I think they're both. We were doing it live the other day, and the rate of how slow he spoke, like I couldn't sit there and be married to that. Like, hey Johnny, what are the plans for tonight? Well, since it's been a fortnight of good weather, and just the whole.
But John, see when when the lawyer was asking him about the date, and he said, "Was that the same date you asked me 3 times ago about, or something? I've already looked at our sign 3 times." It was just, he's funny, but very deadpan.
Yeah.
But he's not taking it seriously. See, to be honest, I think Johnny Depp, even if he was the worst out of the two, nobody would give a shit because it's Johnny Depp.
Right.
To be honest,
it's true.
I'd still go there. Like, I wouldn't shit in his bed.
Yeah, I mean, it's Johnny Depp, and who is she before? I never even heard of her until I'm like Pineapple Express. I'm like, someone told me she was a girl in Pineapple Express. Seth's high school girlfriend. I'm like, oh, okay, now I know who she is. I didn't even know her from Aquaman. That's like what I knew her from. So, like, if you're gonna put 2 people, Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, on the same platform, well, Johnny Depp's gonna take it every single time.
I just remember, like, obviously going way back years when he was with Winona Ryder, and he got Winona Forever.
Edward Scissorhands.
Yes, he got Winona Forever, and they split up, and he changed it to Wino Forever.
Yeah. No, I always loved him as an actor.
Me too. And then he was with Vanessa Paradis for 15 years. They've got a child, and she's like, he was never violent. So I think it's been a very toxic relationship. Plus, I think alcohol, drugs. I think it's been a horrible combination, and it's not been good for either. But again, it's Johnny Depp. He'll go over it.
It's Johnny Depp, and he's so out there already. Like, he's been in the business, his whole life, and it's Johnny Depp. Like, you don't get much more A-list than that. So he's seen some things, right?
Mm-hmm.
So just imagine being him and living and thinking the way he does. It's probably so weird. Like, I couldn't even comprehend being Johnny Depp for 5 minutes and think, what am I gonna do? It's just weird, right?
I think he has literally turned into a Tim Burton character.
Right. Well, he's done 12 movies with them, so it only makes sense sooner or later that he was just going to turn into one of them. So,
crazy,
so weird.
Yes. Listen to my dog snoring. Johnny Depp put you to sleep.
And we were saying this the other night, and that accent, I always see him with Dorit. I would like to have Dorit and Johnny Depp have a conversation with each other. 2 experts in full-time accent, foolery. Imagine being PK or being Amber and having to hear them constantly talk in the accent when they're just just give it up, give it a rest. I'd be PK. Or Dorit, it's 11 o'clock at night. Let's just watch Murder, She Wrote and go to bed. I don't need the accent anymore, right? It just, or do they, is it just for I don't know.
Do you know what I very much I've always noticed? You've got PK, Dorit, and Boy George, and the lesser of the egos is Boy George.
There you go.
That makes no sense to me. Like, he should have the ego out the three, but not.
Well, speaking of, they're starting soon, right? May 11th, I think. Beverly Hills.
Oh my lord. That is my dog. If he's no snoring, he's farting, and it is not me.
Yeah, it'll be May. Wait, give it a few minutes. Wait,
That's a shame. No, it's definitely my dog.
wait, because it'll be slowed down. And blogger John Yates with just terrible gas, flatulence. They'll slow it down.
John Yates sharted.
Right there. There we go. There's the headline of the night. The roll them. I'm sure there's competing lives happening right now as we speak. But yeah, so if you guys are around at 10, so it's about 2 hours and 45 minutes from now, we'll be doing that. We're gonna be playing the live streams and then just having a good old time with it. And yeah, and then one of the interviews that I had for last week, I think is gonna be on Sunday. I'm just trying to iron out a time.
Good.
Get that rescheduled and
Look at Sweets and Beyond.
Wait, what? I always leave grumpy in the live. That's it. That's how we're gonna leave you off with the Hour Benjamin and the grumpy, the Goodnight Grumpy, and there we go. All right, did we get everything?
I think we did.
All right, I had
a bit of a deflation. I think we ended with red flags, and that was about it.
Yeah, I had a red blast. I had a blast as always. Cody is screwing with me. He's standing right next to me. And he's just being a real not nice person right now. Do you hear him cackling in the back?
Yes. Everybody's always like, Cody's so sweet. Cody's probably always in the background like, with a shitty stick.
Yeah, it's like, and they think I'm the bad one. No, he's the one pulling all the cords in the back. See, he's the one leaving the grumpies.
The real puppet master.
It's him. It's Cody's the grumpy master. That's what he does. But all right, so if you guys are around at 10, I'll be live again for the Johnny Depp stuff, and if not, I will see you tomorrow at some point probably. Okay. All right, and thank you so much. And good night. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.
Thanks for having me. Good night, everyone.
Thanks for being here.
No problem. Thank you. Bye.